Hello cat flappers, welcome to another very quick, very rough and ready locations video for Filthy Rich and Catflap. It's being recorded in very early February 2023. There's been a couple of breakthroughs as far as locations go. And the first one of which is the very intro to Filthy Rich and Catflap, where we see Eddie Catflap sort of mucking about in front of a very bare brick wall that was discovered by Chris Hurst over on the Facebook group, the unofficial, official Filthy Rich and Catflap Facebook group. And that led to more discussion on the pub and the location of the pub, etc. And again, nobody seemed to know. So that sort of prompted me to look into it very quickly again. And I got onto the Pubs of Manchester blog. And there's hundreds of pubs on there. And I wasn't going to go through them one by one, although I got through about half of them. So on Twitter, I hit them up. And that's at pubs_of_MCR. So Pubs of Manchester, just to see if they knew or if anyone they knew. There were two great replies. Now, the first reply was from Jane Eccleston, who theorised or said pretty much that it looks exactly like the frontage of the Poets' Corner in Salford on Lower Brufton Road, or is it Broughton or Broughton? Who knows? Anyway, as you'll see up here, our salty dog backed up Jane and said, "Defo the Poets' Corner exterior," and then had a link to this photo over here. Poets' Corner, and I'll tell you why I've yellow highlighted that particular little feature. So as we can see, let's go back to the show. You've got this rounded bit here at the very top for the signage. You've got these windows at the top, the square windows, and you've got sort of a similar thing at the bottom. And of course you've got the whitewashing, I suppose, and the darker paint down below there. I hope you can see what I'm talking about here. Anyhow, we can see that on this old photo, which I'm assuming is from the 60s or 70s, who knows, possibly even the 50s, that you do have the square windows at the top and the bottom. That is rounded, the Poets' Corner sort of signage there. The door is in the right spot. The paint job is the same. So it's pretty obvious I've highlighted this yellow bit here, which is what I've called sort of a hatch lid, and that's on the street, on the pavement there, and you can see it down here as Richie and Eddie are being thrown out of the pub. There it is there, and of course you can see it much sort of, the dodgier angle there. So the Poets' Corner was demolished in 1993. There's a few older photos, but certainly not many, or in fact none I could find, of the pub in the 80s, which is when Filthy Rich and Catflap was recorded in 1986. And as I was about to discover, so much of the area has changed. It's pretty much unrecognisable. And so the next thing I wanted to do was try and get some sort of contemporary either footage or photographs to the 1980s, and that led to a bit of a search on YouTube, where I found from 1990, let's have a look at it here, this video, Lower Brufton in Salford, driving down in 1990. And so when you get about halfway through the video, that is where, if you can see my mouse thingy moving around here, we're about to turn this corner after the bridge into Lower Brufton Road, and we're going to continue on round, and we should see the Poets' Corner, which was melded with a pub called the Beehive at one point. We should see that here. So let's hit play on the video. And then once I'd discovered exactly where this joint was, which will be coming up on the left fairly soon, after a place called the Unicorn Nursery for kiddies. And it's quite a famous building, and luckily it's still there, which sort of allowed us to figure out where we're at. So coming up here on the left, you've got this building up here, and that is the Unicorn Nursery. So I'll sort of pause it here. There it is. Now that is this building down here, and if we go to Street View in Google Maps, we should be able to see it. Turn around. There it is in all its glory there, so you can see. Oh, well, let's come around so we can get a better view of this thing. Okay, so you've got these windows, and those windows match up. That's there. They've built a little, would you call that a portico? I don't know. But they've built one of those outside. And anyway, it's the same building. So let's continue on with the video. Now those are the famous rounded bits of what was the beehive, but then became, as we'll see here, the Poets' Corner. Poets. And that, if you go round this corner, around there will be the door that they filmed at for Filthy Rich and Catflap. And what we'll do is we'll just move up the street here on this, and that is what it was. There we go. People have clearly been walking along here up to the buildings. But that's gone. This building here, this magnificent building here, is where this bit of sort of opened miniature bit of parkland is. We'll keep going around the corner on the video. That's gone as well. Now this is a little pull-in lane. And if we go further up here, the pull-in lane is still there. And there it is. Well, hey. And these houses up here, these ones here, let's zoom in. They are still there. There we go. The doorways have all had these nifty little roofs built over them. But yes, further up the street here, you've got not only that light pole, but you're gonna, oh, we just missed it. It's a little red post box, which is still there. There it is, the pillar box. You'll see it coming up now. There it is. And that's that pillar box there. Anyway, let's stop mucking about. So we found exactly where on Lower Brufton Road that the Poets' Corner was. And so now let's just do a few more comparisons if we can. Okay, so the house that we can see in the background there, after Eddie and Richie come catapulting through this door and land on the pavement, that was demolished sort of around 2008, 2012, but the buildings next to it were standing. It's just that particular one got demolished. But this photo, by the way, we're looking at now, with the arrow pointing to the very same house, is from 2008. It was all gone. All these houses were gone by 2012. Now over here on the right, down the bottom, you can see that that building is the Unicorn Nursery we were talking about before. So this corner is the one that had the Poets' Corner pub on it, and the doorway would have been around here somewhere, and then we would have seen Eddie and Richie getting turfed out onto there, or rather the stuntmen, which I think one of them was Paul Heisman. But there you go. So there it is. Now, there's the boys getting turfed out. There's the house. Now let's just have a look at some of these other pictures. We've got stills from the video here. And again, you can see these two lampposts. Actually, it's this one over here. Is that one there? So don't be confused and think that one's that one. Oh, we're getting into the weeds here now. But the point being that we've located where the pub is thanks to some people on Twitter and a bit of following up and a nice YouTube video from 1990 and the glory of Google Street View on Google Maps. So well done to Jane Eccleston. Thank you, Jane. Nice backup work, a salty dog. And thank you also to Pubs of Manchester for helping out and showing a few people as well. And just before I go, let's look at the pavement thing. Yes, so Chris Hurst here said he's asked a few people. You'll be able to pause and read the text here. And found that the wall that Eddie was in front of and Filthy was in front of, and here we go, look at that in all its glory, is this missing bit of stuff here. Now, the furthest back that Google Street View goes is 2008, and the wall was certainly missing then. But Chris has pointed out, there's a better view of it here on the right, that it's at 1 Cambridge Street. So there you have it, a section of wall that Eddie and Filthy were at. And yes, apparently it's fairly nearby to the Palace Cinema, which Richie was twirling in front of. Anyway, I'll get out of here. I hope you enjoy this video, or if not, I hope it was at very least informative. And I might talk about this more in an upcoming episode of Podcasto Catflapo. So thanks to all the people who did the sleuthing, and I'll catch you later on, Lubies. Cheers.